Okay, so we ready to start? Ready to go?
Yeah, we are ready, rinpoche.
Zangye chedan zoye jonam lan janjo bardon dane gyabzo je dagye chuje gebe zonam gen jola benje zangye jo bara jo Zangye jedan zoye jonam la janjo pardon dane gyabzonje dagye jeje geben zonam ge jola benje zangye jobara jo zangye jedan zoye jonam la janjo pardon dane gyabzonje dagye jeje geben zonam ge jola benje zangye jobara jo Zai Shinpe Ye Doi Shime Doi Tamai Ramai Shi Nyende Oike Binding Sangye Shinto Mende Mui Joge Namai Dai Shin je bara jo jo yi da mang ro la men da la gam ni yan da da ya mi. So please tune in to this morning's session with a proper bodhisattva motivation, which is to become enlightened, become a Buddha for the sake of all sentient beings. So for this purpose, I will be listening to, I will be studying in the mm, in the Dharma, and in particular this book called The Letter to a Friend by Master Nagarjuna. So last week we had a quite a lengthy sort of conversation. We talked about acquiring or attaining the four samadhis, or the four stages of uh, dhyanas, sometimes called samadhi, sometimes called dhyana, but it's basically the concentration level. And then we discussed on the different subtleness, or different profoundness of each of mm, the four dhyanas or the four samadhis, and what are the differences when you advance from the first samadhi or first dhyana to the second dhyana. What do you abandon? What do you keep? What you leave? All these things. So that is what we discussed last week. So in fact, we discussed about the mm, yeah. So we discussed about many key points. For example, like so we discussed something called the vitark and the vichar, right? So the ability, the sort of awareness that you have um, when we look at something, when we observe something, basically observation and investigation, observation and investigation. So to look at something, just to look at something as an overall thing, like if you see a blue house, you look at the blue house, just see a blue house. Um, that is the observation, that is the vitark. And then within that blue house, that you see how many windows it has, how many, what are the shape of the house, etc. That is the vichar. Um, and also, these are the two key things that we discussed, vitark and the vichar. And we also discussed about the peace and the course. The peace meaning, basically it means pro and cons. Peace meaning we see the stage above you as peaceful and the stage below you as coarse, meaning rough. So the person, the meditator who advances into the first stage, first samadhi, sees um, uh, the desire realm, everything in the desire realm, as coarse, as rough, and he sees the meditative equipoise in the first samadhi or the first dhyana as peaceful. So peace and coarse. Basically, it means pro and con, good and bad. So we talk about that, vitark and vichara, peaceful and coarse. So these are the main things that we discussed last week. So I'm just doing a recap. Wallace. Um, so the key thing is the peace and the coarse. Seeing the desire realm as coarse and seeing the form realm as peaceful. So within the within the form realm, uh, there are advancement into four more stages. So first samadhi or first dhyana, second dhyana, third and fourth samadhi or dhyana. And they are differentiated by the fact that the first samadhi or the first dhyana has both observation and investigation. And it also has excitement, uh, joy. Joy here refers to excitement. And then it has bliss or pleasure. Mm. And then it also has the single pointedness. Um, um, so that was the first stage, first dhyana. In the second dhyana, um, the observation is there, but investigation is no more. And the excitement, joyfulness and happiness, as well as single pointedness, still there. Then the third point, only the observation is there. Um, the joy is no more there, because with the joyfulness or excitement, joyfulness is a form of happiness, but with the happiness with the form of excitement. So when there is an excitement, it's not stable, it's not peaceful. It's not. I mean, it's peaceful compared to the other levels, but it's not as peaceful. So even the the third level, there is no the joy is gone. And the fourth level, even the happiness is gone. There is no observation. There is no so none of the so only the single pointedness remained. No observation. So what that means is just there is just an awareness there. The mind is simply aware and is focused on the meditative point, and there is no up and down, no joyfulness, no sadness. Basically, what we call meditative equipoise, equanimity. Sometimes we call it. So total peace. So that these are the. So I'm just doing a recap because last week was quite detailed. Yeah, thank you. Now, this is about the samadhi or dhyana, which is concentration or concentration, concentrative meditation. Uh, so we call this the meditation session. Now, post meditation, right? Post in session and off session. So off session. So when we are not meditating. So the next the next verse is is on off session, meaning the deeds that you must undertake when you are not deeply in meditation. So that is to observe the five sort of the karma, positive and negative karma. Observe positive and negative karma based on their their graveness. And that graveness comes from 5 different points. And these 5 different points we will discuss. And so for that, I will read the Tibetan first. The verse number is 42. Ta dang ngombar shenda nyebo me yunden zonden shile chungale geda mingye namnga geda mingye namnga chenpote tewe gewa chola zombar gi. Um, English. Okay, where is it? Good, great, good, and evil deeds are of 5 kinds. So determined by their constancy, their zeal, their lack of counteragent, their perfect fields, So strive in this respect to practice good. Constancy, zeal, counteragent, respect, perfect field. There's one missing in the English, right? There's one word we're missing in the English. One of the qualities is missing in the English. I think maybe it's also missing in the Vietnamese too. So basically, this is called the great karma. Okay, great karma. Let's just highlight that thing. Great positive karma or great negative karma. In Tibetan, chenpo. Chenpo means big. Gewe le chenpo, mi gewe le chenpo. So positive great karma or negative great karma. So the graveness or the gravity of that karmic deed is determined by those 5 points due to which you have committed those actions. So those 5 points, or the 5 points, are the constancy, the zeal, and their lack of counteragent, and then something called, let's just put it this way, beneficial. Okay. After the lack of counteragent, put one more thing called the beneficials. And after the beneficials, then add the perfect field. So 5: constancy, zeal, counteragent, lack of counteragent, beneficials, and then perfect field. So these are the 5 points that makes a good or evil deed great or grave. So the first of the 5 points is constancy or consistency. That means the things that you do on a daily basis, the things that you, whether good or bad. For example, if you are a butcher and you kill animal every day, then let's say you're killing only one animal, right, a day. But because you have been doing that for your whole life, for many years, it adds up. So consistency. So that constancy, so the consistency as well as the constancy, constantness of the action makes it grave. So even though you may be killing one animal or one insect a day, but because you have been doing it so often, it adds up. Of course, right? 1 + 1 is 2. So that's very easy to understand. But not only that, what happens is when you keep doing that often, so another example would be lying. Good example. So killing, we're not engaged in that quite often. Not all of us. But lying, making up story, yeah, with the making up story with the intention to cheat someone, that is lying, right? Not just because you make some story is not lying. When you tell a joke, you just make up stories. So making up a story in order to cheat someone, take advantage of someone, that is lying. So you lie today, tomorrow, over and over again. So the consistency of lying and the constantness of lying, that makes, even though lying is not that a grave uh, negative karma as killing someone, but if you do it often, if you do it on a constant basis, then what happens is you somehow, usually when we lie, there is an apprehension. Often when we are lying for the first time, as a kid, when we lie to someone, we are quite hesitant, right? Because we are learning to lie. Then as we become adult, we become expert in lying. So we become very brave. We have a bold face, and then we lie. So therefore, we become expert in that. What happens is we become immune to shame, to guilt of lying. So this lying is just one example. So the same thing happens with any other negative karma. So with this, you do it more and more often, then you become used to it. It becomes your second nature. You don't think twice about doing that thing, even though it's a negative deed. You don't think twice about killing an animal. You don't think twice about killing a mosquito. You don't think twice about lying to someone's face, because you do it so often. And for some reason, just because there is instant karma does not occur all the time, so you become quite confident that you can make out today by lying. So in the beginning, you have to put effort to lie, but after some time, you don't need to do that. Lying just comes out constantly, naturally, or second naturally comes out like that. So that's why, even though karmic deed may seem very small, minuscule, it's very small, but due to its constancy, this karmic deed will become a great karma, great negative karma, a grave negative karma, like that. So the opposite can also be said the same on the positive side. Alles. The so that is, as I said, that is the negative side, but the same can be done in the positive side. In the positives, that is why we try to do our prayers, our prostration, the offerings every day. So it may be a small thing, just 3 prostration a day, just one bowl or of 7 bowls of water or one bottle of water, doesn't matter. Maybe just one round of Om Mani Padme Hum. But when you do it constantly, every day, every now and then it becomes your second nature. So when you see that many enthusiastic practitioners, they, I mean, when you communicate with them, they talk to you, but when you're not communicating with them, they're just rolling their rosary, like Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. If you don't ask any question to them, if you don't like engage with them, they're just busy doing their practices. So it becomes your second nature. You don't even have to put effort to practice. Uh, so negative side, in the beginning, you have to put effort to lie, to do negative things, to cheat people, some other things. After some time, you become so expert, so good in it. You can even train other people how to do cheating, um, how to steal, how to cheat, how to make up story like that. The good side too, on the positive side, if you do it constantly, even if it may be a small deed, if you do it constantly, it adds up. It becomes your second nature. You don't have to think twice. So a lot of in Tibetan community, a lot of our elders, many of them were illiterate, cannot read, but they have listened to the Tara prayer, 21 Tara prayer. They just keep listening, and then they can they can pray from from uh, uh, from the beginning to the end, just like that. So it becomes their second nature, and whenever they're free, they just do the 21 Tara praise, like that. So these are so through constancy, through consistency and constancy, because of the constantness, every day, daily practice, keeping it up. These deeds, whether it's a positive deed or a negative deed, becomes a great deed, becomes very powerful. Good deed, very powerful, positive effect. Bad deed, very powerful, negative effect also. The second point, uh, the second point is the zeal or the enthusiasm, the excitement. So positive or negative doesn't matter. Same. We use the negative example for the first one. So now we use the positive example. So like doing a prostration or making an offering. So when you make the offering, say out lay out the 7 bowls of offering, make everything clean, try to get the good quality water, try to get a good quality bowl, uh, clean everything beforehand, the altar and everything, and prepare everything well, or any other food that you are offering. So everything you do it with the pure intention every moment. Maybe you are then when you make uh, the prostration, do it with the pure mind. The only mindset is the mindset of benefiting others, the mindset of achieving enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings, with so pure mind, pure and very strong uh, urgency and enthusiasm. So when you do that, then someone may have been doing, let's say, one whole day reciting mantra, so many other prayers, and you just make an offering of offering of water bowl offering to the 3 jewel, and then made an offering of prostration and an incense. Very simple practice. May have taken 5 to 10 minutes, and someone may have done but you do it with a very pure enthusiasm, very pure intention, and very strong enthusiasm, very strong enthusiasm. And then someone else do a practice for the whole day, but is distracted, not, that your mind is not really there. You are distracted. Maybe you are doing it for some unholy reason, right? Ulterior motive, etc. Maybe if I do this practice, people will see me and I will gain more respect, etc., etc. So when you do a positive action like making an offering and prostration, but with a strong enthusiasm, just for 10 minutes, that is much greater than doing some very lengthy practice for the whole day. So again, we are talking about the greatness of the deed. A greatness of the deed is not determined by what the actual deed are. The deed is just making an offering of water, bowl of water. It's not even a expensive wine. It's not even some exotic drink. Nothing. It's just water. Water is everywhere. But when you offer it with a pure mind, very strong enthusiasm to attain enlightenment for the sake of all beings. Then that small action of just making a water offering becomes a great karmic deed. Hmm. Oh yeah. Now that's number 2. Now next, number 3. Number 3 is action. So this is more towards negative action. It's got nothing to do with positive action. So a karmic deed is considered a grave karmic deed or a great karmic deed, great negative karmic deed becomes a great negative karma or grave negative karma, a big negative karma, if it doesn't have any counter agent. So counter agent is an opposing force. So, for example, if you steal from someone, that is thievery, that is a negative karma, then there should be one should engage in practices that negates that action. Like one of the thing is that when you take something from someone, then you give something to another person or give that to that person more in number, etc. So you take something, you give it back. Some of the things you have done in your previous life, you cannot give back to that person, in which you must engage in counteragent or opposing forces in terms of what we called, if you remember, we talked about this earlier, the Nyembo Topshi, or the four opponent powers. We call it the four opponent powers. So basically, engaging in the spiritual practices that will cancel out. Sometimes we call it purification practices. So I think most of you know about the 100 syllable Vajrasattva, which is for purifying. So there are many other forms which I will come to. So if you do not engage in, if you don't follow up your negative karma, after the negative karma, such as stealing, if you don't follow it up with the with the counter agent, it's like once you get poisoned, then you have to take the medicine to get the poison out. So the counter agent is like the medicine to get the poison out. So after you do a negative karma, you must engage in the counter agent. Without that, that negative karma, even though it may be small in the beginning, it'll become a grave negative karma in the long run. So I will identify or introduce what are the counter agents after this. So for the counter agent, what we usually engage in is something called the four opposing powers. Power because it has the power or the energy to the four is the number of the four kinds or the four number. That's the number is the number. Uh, Oppose meaning opponent meaning because it is the direct opposite of the negative karma that you have done, and power meaning it has the power or it has the potential to drive out the negative karma or to purify the negative karma. So the four opponent powers. So the four opponent powers uh, is the first one we called Tengitop or the power of support. That is what we call. For power of support, and to make it understand more easily, the power of reliance. Basically, it means uh, taking refuge in the triple gem. So by taking refuge in the triple gem has the power to help you to unload your negative karma.
Yeah.
The first one. The second one, uh, so the second one is called the Nyembu Top. Nyembu means antidote, the power of antidote. So that is to engage in practices of meditation, practice of reciting sutras, mantras like Vajrasattva mantra, engaging in Vajrasattva meditation, and there are many other types of uh, purification related practices like medicine Buddha for one, and Akshobhya for another, yeah, so on and so forth. So there are many others. And then there are actions like doing the prostration. Prostration is for doing prostrations. And then I think we discussed earlier, like building stupas, building the stairs for a stupa, basically building up schools for education, etc. Because when you lie to, for example, education, aiding in education is the opposite of lying, cheating. So when you have done cheating and lying, you have accumulated a lot of negative karma because you give people the wrong information. But with education, you are giving the right information. So setting up school, making donation to school, uh, offering like that, this helps to negate your negative karma of like cheating, lying. And then for killing people, because you take someone's life, you harm on someone's life. So you make offering to hospitals, people who are suffering from what do you call that thing? Suffering from chronic illnesses, very um, serious cases of the illnesses. When you make offering to them, help them, this negates your action of killing someone, taking someone's life, harming someone's life, etc. So that is the second one, known as the power of the antidote or the actual antidote. That is the antidote, direct opposite of what you have done. So the other three, like the Buddha, the triple gem, and the other three, is like the secondary antidote or the secondary counter agent. The this one, the power of antidote. This is the actual antidote to your negative karma. Yeah. So I've shared the names on our chat box.
Yeah.
So in Tibetan, we call them Nyembo Topshi. So Nyembo means antidote, Top means power, Shi means four. So four antidote power or four powers of antidote or four opponent power. So different name. The first one we discussed, Tengitop, which is the power of literal translation means literal translation is the power of support. So power of support doesn't make any sense in English. So power of reliance. So relying on the triple gem, the three jewels, right? The one we already discussed. Oh yeah. So it said here that taking refuge in the three jewels and generating bodhicitta, right? And one more is missing, uh, meditating on emptiness. So these three things very powerful. The first one, think it up. The second one is the Nyingbu Top. Top means power. The actual antidote, we just discussed that one. Okay. Meditation, recitation, study, making donation to hospitals, schools, etc. Or printing out books because books give, yeah, like that. And number three is the Gyobe Top. Gyoba means regret. So whatever negative you have done, you have to feel very strong, genuine, not just make up, not just trying to give a, how to say, appear a good student to your teacher, not trying to appear a better practitioner to your fellow Sangha member. No, but like with genuine inwardly from the bottom of your heart you regret, very strong repentance, very strong feeling of guilt that you have done something bad, yeah, and then that is gyopa or the regret. Number three.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another one point. Usually the lamas, when the teachers they give this instruction, they usually say the number three, the power of regret. They say you must regret as if you have swallowed some poison in your food. So if you just found out that you eat something, you don't know what that food is for, who that food is for, it is intended for someone because they are trying to kill someone, food poisoning, and then you eat the food, and then someone tells you the food is poisoned, you shouldn't have ate that. Immediately, I don't you go to the doctor, you try to throw up, uh, you really want to remove all this poison from your stomach. Same likewise, when you after you realize you have taken the poison food, there is so much regret. Oh, why did I take this food? Why did I drink this cup of tea? There is poison in it. I should be more observant. You feel like that, very strong. Similarly, one should feel like that. That's number three one. Oh yeah, Lasso. That last one, we call it Nyepale lar tope top. Oh, maybe I just explained a few things here. The first one, ten ki top. Ten means support, okay? Nyempo means okay, antidote, we already know that. Gyopa means regret. Okay. The last one is Nyepa le lar tope top. So that's quite long in Tibetan. So Nyepa means offense, something wrong, offense, something offensive, offense, sorry, offense. So lar means again, doba means uh, um, how to say, revoke. Top is to the power. So the power of revoking from lar means once again, doba means to uh, to revoke. So once again, revoke from an offense. So basically, it means not returning to, not doing the same thing again. Okay, so I'll just make it short now. If you have done a negative karma, like stealing, number three, you have a very strong regret, right? Number three, very strong regret. And number two, you do the antidote. You engage in actual antidote of Vajrasattva or any of these practices. And number four, you make a commitment to yourself that I will not repeat the same mistake again. Once again, go back to the example of taking poison. You have eaten a poison, you now regret it, and then throw up. Now you must be wise enough, smart. Don't just accept anything that you see on the table. Just don't eat everything that is on the fridge, in the fridge or on the table. Be careful. Observe. So number 4 is like that. Don't eat the same, don't make the same mistake again. So this, in simple words, number 4 means don't make the same mistake again. Yeah. Okay, now where are we? uh, okay, that is the number. So out of the 4 points, 5 points, this is number 3, point number 3. And now we come to point number 4 or 5. So in the verse, it says the perfect fields, right? Let's just call it the field, okay? Field, because field is where you farm rice, wheat, um, uh, so all these things, right? Grain, different barley, etc. Similarly, um, here there are 2 types of field. The field of benefit. So okay, so number 4, the field, the perfect field, can be divided into 2, so making it 5 overall, right? 5 points. So there are 2 types of field. One is called the field of benefits or beneficial field, and the other one is called the field of perfection, the perfect field. So to summarize, to make it simple to understand, field of benefit means your parents, your teacher, etc. Field of perfection means the triple gem, the Buddhas, the Bodhisattvas, like that. So the first one, and why you call it a field? Because a field, when you sow something on the field, the crops grow. You can have benefit. Similarly, um, the field of benefit as well as the field of perfection, when you engage with them, you reap benefits. So because of that, this is known, the last one is known as the field, okay? Within the field, there are 2 fields, the field of benefits, the field with benefits, and the field of perfection. Yeah. Field with benefit means your parents and your teacher, and filled with perfection means the Buddha, triple gem, the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas and the deities like that. So the first one of the 2 field, the first one, the field of the field with benefits, is your parents and your teachers, uh, and yeah, your benefactors, etc. The reason for that is not only that. There are also animals. So basically, things that have helped you to grow, give birth to you. The parents give birth to you, and then up to a certain certain extent, they also help you to grow as well. Give birth to you, grow to you. Without your parents, you will not be come into existence in this world. And after after you are born, if your parents abandon you, nobody take care of you, then you will not survive. Then, so you have been taken care of by your parents or your foster parents. Someone actually took care of you so that you survive from the very critical age, like critical time of like just 2 days, a few hours after birth, 3 months after birth, 3 years after birth. Very crucial stage. If nobody take care of you at that time, you will not survive. So your parents, your biological parents, your foster parents, doesn't matter. All your parents, very kind, grateful, beneficial to you for your survival, for your existence. Without them, you're not a person. You're nobody. You're literally nothing. Yeah. So your parents, very important field of benefit. Benefit means you are benefiting from them. So then, after some time, uh, without some learning, I'm not talking about school per se, but like without some understanding of how the world works, how everything functions in the world, any knowledge at all, you cannot survive. Mm. So after some time, you go to school, you learn with your what do you call that? Classmates, all these people, and you have your friends, people who makes life more bearable for you. Your life, as you grow older, you go to work, you have lots of stress, so many things. Then you have your partner, you have your friends, your colleagues who you have a good rapport with, and they can make the life more bearable. So all these people are of benefit to you. So these people, if you engage in any negative karma with these people, your parents, your friends, your foster parents, your teachers, your wife, your husband, your spouses, etc., like that, if you hurt them, if you uh, do something negative to them, it's unlike doing that to any other person. If you do, if you lie, cheat to some other person, it's bad. But if you cheat uh, to your own people, like your family member, your spouse, etc., that is more grave. So therefore, one should be wary of this. One should be careful, cautious of doing anything negative towards anybody in the world, but especially towards the the so-called field, the field of benefit, like your family member, etc., etc. Yeah. And then this also reaches out not only to human beings, but also like if you keep a pet animal like a dog or a parrot or something like that, that I'm not saying to everybody, but some people love pet. So if you are keeping a pet, usually they really love them. They adore the pet. And if you adore and if you really love them, a lot of time the pet, the animal, also give you a lot of benefit, give you solace when you are feeling lonely, give you give you uh, what's the word for that? Anyway, so it brings a lot of benefit for you. So therefore, you must never harm them. Sometimes people keep a dog, and then because the dog guards the house. It doesn't happen. It does happen a lot in Eastern nations, Eastern countries, India, Vietnam, Nepal, that we keep a dog to guard the house, but then when the dog misbehave, we beat the dog. Very bad. So people from whom you are reaping benefit, if you hurt them, then that negative karma is most grave, like that. Hmm. So once you understand that one, the next one is a little bit easier because it just replicate the same thing. Um, Um, the next one is the field of perfection. So that means someone who has achieved perfection. So ultimate perfection is Buddhahood. That means all the Buddhas. And perfection in general refers to nirvana. So someone who is beyond arahat level, and someone who has achieved, attained nirvana, and above, meaning um, the Buddha. Someone who has achieved perfection as well as great perfection, the Buddha, that is the field of perfection. So the if you do any harm towards them, like so we cannot do much harm to the Buddhas directly because Buddhas they're beyond our reach to harm them. But in order to, it happened in the past and many times, and also happening in the present time too, in many places, like burning out of disrespect. Okay, burning Buddha's picture out of disrespect, not for other reasons. um, Out of disrespect, burning Buddha's picture, destroying the statues, burning books, which happened in Nalanda by Bakhtiyar Khilji, the Muslim ruler who came to invader who came to India. He burned the Nalanda monastery, killed the monks, destroyed the statue, everything like that. that if you do anything like that, I mean, you cannot harm the Buddha directly. You cannot harm the Buddha directly, but by harming the image of the Buddha, does it really hurt the Buddha? No, it doesn't do anything to the Buddha, but it accumulates great negative karma for you because you are hurting the sentiment of hundreds of thousands of people who respect the Buddha. Yeah. For example, right? For example, uh, yeah, like if you burn the image of the Buddha, one thing Buddha doesn't is not offended by what you do, like that kind of thing. And also, if you look at it from a very practical point of view, Buddha passed away, died 2,500 years ago. Even if somebody died 1 year ago, they won't remember, they won't see, they don't do anything, right? I'm just talking from a very like worldly point of view. Buddha is dead. Used to use simple word, right? Uh, okay, from a Buddhist spiritual point of view, he's into nirvana and all that. But from a simple point of view, he's dead. He doesn't care, doesn't mind. But if you burn Buddha's image, destroy Buddha's statue, sit on Buddha's head, and all that thing, which happened in many places like Thailand, Bhutan, tourists, Chinese tourists, Indian tourists come there and misbehave. So when they think they do that thing, the country has to step in. They have to put in very strong measures, punishment and restriction. So many things have to be done. So like that, when you do that, indirectly harming the Buddha, right? Directly you cannot harm, but when you do that, it hurts the sentiment of thousands of people. Why do Thailand uh, um, uh, penalize people who step on the Buddha's image? Why do Bhutan penalize people who sit on the temple and Buddha's image, sit like that? Why? Because Buddha doesn't care, doesn't mind. It hurts the sentiment of the people who worship the Buddha, right? So therefore, it hurts so many people, hundreds of thousands of people, and hurting people is an egregious, is a very bad negative thing. So that's why you must not disrespect or hurt the Buddha or an Arhat like that. Hmm. So any negative karma associated with the Buddha and an Arhat is a grave negative karma. Negative, gravely negative. Hmm. So it is said that because your parents and your the people who you have benefited from are great because you have received so much from them. That's why if you engage in any negative karma with them, there is a grave consequence. And the Buddhas and the Arhat, because they have achieved so much, and then they have achieved so much, not in this case of like individual achievement, but after very reason someone becomes a Buddha is for the sake of all sentient beings, for other beings. So therefore, when you when you try to put harm to someone who has done so much for the society, if you like, for so much for the sentient beings, that is that then you have a grave, then you reap a grave consequence. So your parents and your friends, the field of benefits, you reap grave consequence because you have received so much from them, and from the triple gem and the Buddha, from the triple gem and etc. It's a grave consequence because they have done so much for all sentient beings. Yeah. That's why doing harm to these fields, two types of fields of fields of benefit and fields of perfection. That's why if you engage in any negative towards these two fields, there is a grave consequence. So these are the 5 points, right? Only 4 points are mentioned in the uh what do you call that thing? In the verse, there's only 4 points are mentioned, but the last point, the fourth one, which is known as the field, has two division: field of benefit and field of perfection. So ultimately making it 5. So these 5 points make any positive or negative karma a great or grave positive or negative karma. Actually, the number 4 and 5, the last two, counter missing a counter agent and uh, putting harm onto to the field. Uh, these two are associated with negative karma, not with positive karma. But the first two are associated with the positive karma, right? When you do a positive karma, if you do it constantly, it becomes very positive. It becomes it becomes greater. If you do it with great zeal, enthusiasm, it becomes a great positive karma. The second two, the first two are applied only for the positive karma, but for negative karma, one, two, three, four, five, all applies. So verse number 43, I will just add, this is like an additional sort of backup for the previous one, the current one. So I will just read it out. Lenza 상게 추네 nyungshi rogyur gi ki kange lumintar 대신 딕벨레니 충우양 게웨 짜와 양라 캠버기스. So 40 verse number 43. A pinch of salt can give its salty taste to a little water, but not to the Ganges stream. So know that, likewise, minor evil deeds can never change a mighty source of good. So this is basically Master Nagarjuna encouraging King Gautamaputra to engage in, of the 5 points we just talked about, the first one, which is constancy. So constantly engage in positive karma as much as you can every day, every moment. Try to do good thing, and in between, sometime you may have to do negative thing. You may have to lie, cheat. You may have to kill. Because you are a king, right? After all, so even if you do small negative things, because you have done so much portion of goodness, positivity, those small things, small minor negativities will not deter, will not sway you. If you keep on doing keeping up a good stream or good stream of positive karma, then a small set of negative karma will not bother you that much. It's just like a pinch of salt. If you put a handful of salt in your food, it'll become very salty. But if you put it in a big bowl of water, a tank, it won't affect much. Just like that. So this concludes today's session, and then I will open up for the Q&A now, if you have any. Any questions? So no questions. I will just wait for the questions, just a little bit. If no questions, we will do a little bit of practice on Vajrasattva related purification. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will explain the meditation, and then meanwhile, if any questions are there, you're welcome to post it. Okay. So we talk about the grave negative karmas, right? The positive karma, the grave negative karmas, and the great positive karma, great negative karma, how we accumulate them all this and that. So the one way to remove them, once we engage in negative karma, if you remember, just like you have taken poison, immediately regret, immediately try to throw up, like that, and then engage in antidotes, right? So antidote, there are many: prostration, making prostrations. I said all the thing earlier. So one thing is to engage in purification rituals or purification related um, um, meditation. So one of which is one of the most popular purification ritual is Vajrasattva meditation. So we will do that one. So there's one question from Achan's iPhone. So, hi, does positive karma affect the accomplishment of the dhyana? Not directly, maybe indirectly, of course, yes, because when you have more positive karma, it creates a more cohesive, more cohesive, more comfortable environment for you to meditate for a better, yeah, more better convenience for you to meditate properly, etc. So therefore, indirectly, yes, when you do positive karma, you gain a lot of merit. That merit aids. That merit aids. It's like a secondary cause. So it helps. It aids to do your it aids in your practice of the accomplishing dhyanas, the samadhis, but not directly. Directly, you have to engage in, but of course, it helps when you have a proper environment, proper teacher, proper facility, everything. Then it's easier for you to meditate. So, indirectly, yes, but directly, no. Yeah. Another question, very important question, Charlene. What's the proper way to deal with the packaged material with the pictures of the Buddha? Thank you. So this is a very good question. So I touched upon this a little bit earlier, saying when you burn the pictures of the Buddha, statues of the Buddha, this and that, disrespectfully. Okay, so you can actually get rid of Buddha's images. Not get rid of is not a proper way to say it, but you can remove a Buddha's image in a respectful way too. Disrespectfully and respectfully, two ways. If you do it respectfully, there's no harm. So sometimes when we want to build a bigger temple, we destroy the smaller temple. We have to deconstruct it. So we are destroying the older temple in order to make it bigger, better, larger, greater. So there is no harm in doing that because it's not out of disrespect, but with respect. So when you have to remove a Buddha's statue or image in order to make it greater, when you, for example, we find ancient Buddha's statues that are missing hands or nose, we add them, we modify them. So we will modify them. We are giving shapes to the sort of the original. We are giving new shapes to the original piece. But it is okay because we are doing it out of respect. So coming to the point. Uh, so the safest way in today's time, okay, why I say today's time, in the past, one thing, materials are very scarce, so people don't have that much of Buddha's image, like tanka, picture, etc. So everybody who has one or two, they keep everything very well. In today's time, out of mass production, right? Internet, everything, mass production. So we have hundreds of thousands of Buddha's picture, and then we have books with Buddha's picture. We have the pamphlet, leaflets, flyers. When we make announcements, someone at Rinpoche is teaching, Geshe-la is teaching, all this thing. We put the Buddha's image everywhere. So that's very, very, yeah. So in such cases, the best way is to burn them, put them into fire. The fire deity is regarded as the messenger of the gods. So when we can do some with a pure intention when we offer it to when we burn it. Okay, the the common English language we use burn them. The proper spiritual term is we offer them to the fire god. That way it becomes an offering. We offer the Buddha's image, the Buddha's text. So many hundreds of thousands of textbook, Buddhist book. If you cannot use them, no one else wants them. It's taking the space, a lot of hindrance. Then you can burn them, mm, like that. But never throw them in the garbage. Don't disrespect them. Put it into underground, etc. Like that. Mm. So in the chat box, I send one image of Vajrasattva, and also another image. Next one is of Vajrasattva sitting above a practitioner in this particular. So there's a monk, there is a layperson, so you can imagine as you like. So the idea is to visualize Vajrasattva in front of you, pray to him, prostrate, offering, etc. Then he is pleased because you want to engage in the Vajrasattva purification practice. And then he sends a replica, exact replica of himself from his heart. It comes to your head, sits on your head. So the Vajrasattva sitting on your head, sitting above your head, and the Vajrasattva that you are meditating in front of you are exact the same thing. Even though it's a replica, it's still the same thing. Okay, this is this is like magic. So now you do the Vajrasattva practice or Vajrasattva Samaya. You can say Penzasato or Vajrasattva. Tibetans usually say Penzasato. So I say Penzasato. So there, when you do that, the Vajrasattva outshines powerful light, as you can see in the second picture. That light enters your body. Okay, monk, nun, whatever you are, enters your body, and then it leaves no space for any negative thing inside you. Like when you have a very when you fill up something, a bag with clothes and other objects, there's no room for air or other things, right? If you don't put the clothes, the bag is empty, full of air. But the more things you put in, the airs are being. So the air here is the negativity, all the negativity being washed out, flooded out, like that, flushed out, like you flush the toilet, like that. Every negative thing flushed out from all the pores, all the holes, like nose, down there, from the ears, from your body. All the pores are flushing out your negativity. Okay? So we do it 7 times. Om benza sado samaya mano balaya benza sado teno ba tida tido meba wa sudo kayo meba wa subo kayo meba anurado meba wa sarva siddhi mepara yaja sarva karma suja me chitam shiri kuru hum ha ha ho bhagavana sarva tata benza mame muja benza bawa ma samaya sada om benza sado samaya mano balaya Menzar zato teno ba de chan do me ba wa so do kayo me ba wa so bo kayo me ba wa anu ra do me ba sarva siddhi me bar ya za sava karma suja me chedam shiri guru hum ha ha ho bhagavana sarva tada Benza mami munza benza bawa maha samaya sado ahom be om benza sado samaya manu bala yang benza sado deno pa den chan jedo me bawa sudo kayo me bawa subo kayo me bawa anu rado me bawa sarva siddhi me bar yaza sarva karam suja me zedam shiri guru ha ha ho bhagavana sarva dadanga da benza mami munza benza bawa ma samaya sado ahom Om benza sado samaya mano balaya benza sado dena badita dita meba wa sudo kayo meba wa subo kayo meba ano rado meba wa sarva siddhi meba yaza sawa karma suja me chidam shiri kuru hum ha ha bhagavana sawa tada gata benza mame munza benza bawa maha samaya sada hum Om benza sado samaya mano balaya benza sado deno bade dhan dedo meba wa sudo kaya meba subo kaya meba wa anu rado meba wa sarva siddhi meba yaza sarva karma suja me chudam shiri guru ho bhagavana sarva tada gata benza mame muza benza bawa maha samaya sada Om benza sado samaya mano balaya benza sado deno badeta dido meba wa sudo kaya meba subo kaya meba wa anorado meba wa sarva siddhi meba yaza sarva karma suja me zedam shiri kuru ha bhagavana sarva tada gada benza mame munza benza bhava maha samaya sada ahum per om benza sado samaya mano balaya benza sado deno badeta Dedo meba wa sudo kaya meba wa subo kaya meba wa anu rado meba wa sarva siddhi meba yaza sarva karam sujan sedam shiri guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavana sarva tada gata benzara mame munza benzara ba mahasamaya sada hum pe dani mishe momba yi tamzi lene gesh lama gombe kyabzu je zo lama gombe kyabzu je Okay. Sorry for the little bit extension of the time, and we'll conclude now. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche.
Thank you so much. Kewan di nyodo da lama sangye chobjuro ne chowa che kyang ma le Keye sala go bara sho chanjo semjo zembo je ma ye panama ge juro je ke ba nyamba me ngone gondo pe bara sho mi me zebe de jen jen re ze jeme gembe wangbo jambe debo malun jamze sangwe da kanje kebe zogen zonga lobsan chakbe shablon so won dem dembe ningbo zembe penga shin naman doju kun la changchum lobsan chuje jamze chogun do denge joden tamba zo won de. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Zivijela.
Thank you very much, Rinpoche La.
Thank you so much, Chiwang. Thank you,
Thầy xin
everyone.
cảm ơn.
Mr. Hong and
Yeah,
everyone, thank you so much.
yeah. Thank
Have
you,
a,
Rinpoche La. Thank you very much, Rinpoche
have a
La.
great weekend, everyone. Don't do bad things. We have to do more Vajrasattva then.
Thank you. Bye bye, Rinpoche La.